Hi Capricorn, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Cancer and Capricorn on Thursdays. Also, for those of you guys who are interested, the deck that I'm using today is called the Morgan Greer Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, my information is in the description below. Also, I do just want to give you guys the heads up that sometimes the cards like to flip over in the deck. I do see them, however, I usually don't take them unless they jump out like these cards have. And usually if they jump out in groups that are too big, I'll go ahead and put them back in and continue shuffling. But my main goal here is to get you guys roughly 8 or 9 cards, and then we can get started on your reading. So I'm just going to pull out 2 or 3 more cards, and then we can get started. All right, Capricorn. So I do just want to remind you guys very quickly that in case you enjoyed the reading, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. But we have the Ace of Pentacles as your overall energy, which, let me say, Capricorn, is a wonderful overall energy to have, right? So the Ace of Pentacles talks about some kind of a new beginning in stability, right? So whatever that looks like for you is going to depend on what you basically have in mind, right? So for some of you guys, you might be looking at a job improvement. For some of you guys, you might be coming into some kind of money, or I'm almost hearing real estate for some of you guys. I feel like some of you guys might be buying a house, flipping a house, even just like selling a house normally. So I'm getting that for a lot of you guys. You're seeing a lot of this stability, something that'll help you with your stability at least, right? And I'm seeing sort of this duality here of these white roses or rather white lilies and this red rose here. And it almost feels like you're gonna have kind of both of these things, because I feel like in the past you've kind of been in like one energy and now you're entering another energy, and you're in this sort of middle period where you can just kind of try things out and see what kind of feels nice, what feels good, feels right, and then move forward from there. But I also want to point out the fact that this Ace of Pentacles is being held here by a hand, and it's coming out of this cloud, right? So that to me feels like it's some kind of divine element. So whatever kind of, creator, source, interpretation you have, I feel like you're going to see a lot of money coming in here from almost some kind of a divine intervention. And in like a literal sense, it feels like it's going to come out of the sky, right? But I'm looking here at this part of your reading, and we have, first of all, a lot of major arcana, right? We have the Hierophant, the Temperance, and the Star card, all of which represent an astrological sign. We have Taurus, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. So for some of you guys, you might be dealing with some of those signs. But either way, with the Hierophant here, we have sort of this idea of tradition, just juxtaposed to this Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords is petty conflict, petty arguments, and disagreements, right? So I feel like some of you guys might be in this energy where somebody is trying to just pick a fight with you. I feel like they either woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or they just plain don't like you for some reason, but they have almost like this personal vendetta against you specifically, and that's why they're acting like this. They're acting in a way that's very immature, very petty, very much like, I want to get you in trouble for the sake of getting you in trouble, right? And this feels very much like a work kind of a scenario here. And I feel like the reason that feels that way is because you're tied here in with a very sort of traditional kind of job. But for some of you, especially those of you who don't have what would be considered a traditional job, like this feels like a 9-to-5 energy where you have a kind of like a coworker who is very angsty and very upset with you for no particular reason. Because this to me screams tradition, right? So And even now that I'm looking at it, like there's obvious religious symbolism here. So you might be looking at whatever has to do with long-standing tradition. So if you guys go to like church, maybe you might be running into a person who has this kind of attitude against you, sort of more traditional 9 to 5 kind of jobs, right? Maybe even family, because we have sort of this longevity and tradition when it comes to families. But either way, I feel like you're going to have to deal with this energy here, which is very frustrating for sure. And I feel like you don't feel like you can do a whole lot about it, right? Because we have this 8 of Swords, which is sort of the hands tied behind my back kind of energy, right? Like my hands are tied. I can't really do anything about it. And what's very interesting about the way the 8 of Swords is depicted is that this woman doesn't have the ability to see that the solution to her problem is right around her, right? So one would like sometimes have like the knee-jerk reaction of saying, well, this woman is just lazy or dumb or whatever because she won't use the swords there to release herself from the binding that she has, the rope that's tying her and holding her down. But the sheer fact of the matter is that she can't, because she doesn't have her eyesight, so she doesn't know that the solution is right around her, right? So this to me tells me a couple different things. For one, even if you feel like there isn't a solution around you, it may very well be, and you just haven't noticed it yet. You might have to do some creative thinking, kind of some mental gymnastics, explore some options that you maybe haven't in the past, but also understand that it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel like you are not necessarily in a position to escape your situation, right? So like, it's okay to feel like you're trapped, but don't give in to that energy, because there's going to be a solution here somewhere. And the situation is going to pass, and I can definitely guarantee that. Either way, I see the King of Cups here, which tells me that you guys are probably going to have to partake in a little bit of emotional, kind of like high emotional conversations with this kind of energy. I feel like you guys are going to have to be very empathetic, very perceptive to other people's emotions, and I don't think that's going to come as a particularly difficult thing for you right now. It's just that like you're going to have to be in this energy in order to understand other people, because they're not being very communicative about how they feel. I feel like in order for you to understand, you're going to need to really be on your toes and look for how other people are feeling and reacting to the situation, because I feel like, especially if this person has it out for you, they don't want you to know how they actually feel, right? But either way, I'm seeing sort of this kind of competing idea of charity and generosity here, because the 6 of Pentacles is just that. It's charity and generosity. And that's juxtaposed to this Temperance card, which talks about balance and moderation. So my first impression of what this energy is that you guys need to do a lot of balancing work right now when it comes to sort of the money that you're spending on yourself versus other people. And I think it goes both ways for sure. And for some of you guys, it goes both ways at the same time, right? So what I mean by that is some of you guys are probably overspending on other people. Some of you guys are probably overspending on yourselves and not really giving other people perhaps as much generosity as you probably could be. And then for others of you guys are kind of flip-flopping behind or between the two. And I feel like you guys need to be very conscientious of this, because I feel like it might come back and bite you later if you don't have sort of a healthy relationship with your money and the money that you're giving to other people. Because I'm getting for sure that for a lot of you guys, you're in a situation where you are having to give money to other people basically by force, but it's like under the guise of having to be generous. So it's a very interesting situation, but I'm getting it for sure, especially now since we're currently, as I'm filming this, we are experiencing that pandemic. So a lot of you guys might be giving money to friends and family in order for them to stabilize themselves as well. But you also need to look after yourself, and that's why we have this Temperance card, right? You cannot give until you drop, because then you can't have anything to take care of yourself. But either way, I'm getting that if you guys strike up this balance, right, because I'm getting family very strongly, especially with this King of Cups that I was talking about earlier. I may not have mentioned it, but I definitely want to make it a point that I'm feeling that there might be strong familiar influence in some way, shape, or form because of this King of Cups. The King of Cups is representative of water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. So for some of you guys, those signs might be important. But for sure, try to strike up this balance because it'll help you a lot in the long run. And then lastly, we're seeing this Page of Rods with this Star card. So the Star card to me feels a lot like this wishful thinking, right? It's literally wishing on a star and watching it come true, right? But there's also a very humanitarian aspect to the star. And that sort of ties back into what I was saying here with the Six of Pentacles. But the reason I'm saying that there's sort of this humanitarian symbolism here with the Star card is because I believe she's an angel, but either way, no matter how she's depicted, she's taking water and she's filling up a pond for thirsty travelers to drink from, and she's taking more water and watering the sort of wildlife and fauna around her so that when travelers go there, they can eat, right? So she's basically making a kind of oasis for thirsty travelers to eat and drink and really recuperate themselves. So that's why we have sort of this element of selflessness, humanitarianism, that sort of links right back into this Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles energy here. And I think that for a lot of you guys, you're kind of in that energy where you're kind of flip-flopping between sort of the Six of Wands, Six of Cups, Six of Pentacles, and like all those have to do with charity, your past, and victory. So I'm thinking that for a lot of you guys in the past, giving money was sort of like what you were supposed to do, what would bring you victory. But now you're sort of entering a new period here where you need to realize that in order to be able to take care of other people, you need to take care of yourself first. But either way, here with the Page of Rods, I do want to make that clear that this is a message that's coming in that's going to bring you in this sort of humanitarian aid for you. And like I was saying, you have this Ace of Pentacles, which is a new, this is like you being able to really get a hold of your footing. And with these two energies, I feel like it's balancing also giving and receiving as well. So some of you guys might be receiving something to help you stabilize right now, but stability is definitely the name of the game. I'm seeing a lot of improvement, Capricorn. So that was your reading for Sim Around, Capricorn. If you enjoyed, please leave a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Capricorn videos on Thursdays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.